Hello. Um, I was reading Ramayana, and then I found in Kishkindha Kanda, Sugriva describes the geography of the earth, and there are many interesting things in that chapter. He sends monkeys to all four directions from east, south, west, and north, and describes different continents, seas, mountains, and landmarks. So, interestingly, there are some strange things in that description. So, I will just mention you how he describes it. See, uh, Sugriva was here around above the Vindhya region with all the monkeys and Rama and Lakshman, and he sends one batch to east, and the batch goes through east direction from through the Kashi, the present UP part, then Bihar, Bengal. Then he mentions Kirata kingdom, this kingdom which mostly people are yellowish white race who eats fish and all. Then he mentions Suvarnadweep. Then he comes to he mentions Java and the Indonesia, the Suvarnadweep, the seven jewels, seven jewel islands he mentions. It's okay till this part. Afterwards, he keeps mentioning the east part. Now you can see this. This is the Google Earth image. You can see the tectonic plates below the sea, below the water. So from here, like here from Indonesia, if you go, this is the Indonesia part. And here you can see the continued part of the plates which are below the sea. And here it's South America. So in continue with that description of the east direction from where sun rises, he mentions that famous trident on the mountain in the Peru. So uh, his east comes like this. He describes this region, Indonesia and Java and all. Then he goes with this line. Above this line, you see there is difference between surface height even under the sea. So this see he goes along this plate describing and along the western coast of North America, Mexico, and then this. He mentions the famous trident mark on that mountain in the Peru, and then he keeps describing the world, the land of Garudas, and then he goes like this downwards, and then he mentions the Somagiri. So this is the Somagiri, the Antarctica, and this is the first 0 degree east point uh, as per the geography of the Ramayana. And from here, the sun rises, the eastern mountain, they say. This is the Somgiri, and he says this is the limit or the gate, eastern gate of the earth. This, and if you know, the famous pyramids of Antarctica are here. So, why I described about pyramid, what I told about pyramids, because it has some connection with all this, which I will explain you. Now, similarly, he mentions about southern directions. So in southern directions, he mentions Vindhya mountain, then Narmada river, and then Krishna, Kaveri river, Pandya kingdom. Uh, so after Pandya kingdom, there is he mentions some lands. Then uh, again he mentions this Malaysia land. Then he mentions Australia, which he says the Bhogavati, the kingdom of land of snakes. And then you can again see this is the plate Why I'm describing this is the difference we can see between the surface height under the water. The plates, there are different plates, even though there is Sea Pacific, Indian Ocean here, but still there are mountains and valleys under the sea. So you can see the plate. So this plate, Australia is on that plate. From that plate, see, this is the plate. Earlier I told you this was the eastern plate. This is the southern plate. And he goes like this. And again he mentions Somagiri. He mentions Pitruloka, obviously, the city of Yama, Pitruloka. And then he mentions Somagiri, the southward gate above, after which monkeys or any human or even deities cannot go. Okay, I show you two plates. Now there is interesting part, the western plate. Now, if for the western side, he mentions the Saurashtra region, then some kingdoms here, and he mentions like he keeps mentioning this kind of this. This is the Pragjotishpur region where Narkasura was, the Iraq region, and then he comes down like this. He follows the plates, the tectonic plates of the earth. He doesn't follow the regular general our east west south directions. He follows the four plates, and this is the third plate of the western sides. So see this, you can see the Africa, uh, Middle East region, Western India, Pakistan, Iraq, and all. They are on one plate. So he keeps describing that. Then he mentions Meru Parvat. So I don't know because some one book I read a few years back, in book that they describe that some mountain in Africa they call it Meru. But anyway, from Meru Parvat in the Africa, he goes down to again Antarctica here. Now these are the third plate. Now there is interesting fourth plate, which is north direction. So for north direction, he mentions this Kuru region, Kuru Panchal, then Balik, Kashmir, uh, this region. Then he mentions this Gobi Desert, and then he mentions this Lake Balkhal, Lake, Lake Balkhal. I think it's here. I think he mentions this, and then because he don't mention the general linear direction, he mentions the direction along the plates. So from here you go on this plate. He mentions the region where there is no um, this desert he mentions, Mongolian desert, where there is no trees, no water, nothing, no, even no mountain, no living being present. So through this plate, now you can see the plate. So he goes like this and he mentions where it's through this fourth plate, and again through this he comes to Antarctica here, this plate. So it's interesting. Means if you imagine a inverted pyramid with the base at Antarctica and four plates going above, the shape of Yajnavidhi, he mentions the Bhumandal like this.